Hello, everyone, and welcome to Wednesday morning Facebook Live here at Briggs Health. Today I'm going to talk about herniated discs. What are they? And boy, they can cause a lot of pain. Anybody who's ever had one or known somebody who has one, who's had one, they can really cause a lot of problems. Pain not only kind of in the local area, like wherever the disc is herniated, but also you can get symptoms that really radiate down the legs or down the arms, causing numbness, tingling, pain. And it's weird to think that something could be numb and painful at the same time. It seems completely unfair, actually, but it's really, really common. So I wanted to just take a couple of minutes and explain what is a herniated disc. So I'm going to share some photographs here with you. And let's see here. Shoot, did I do that right? I don't think I did that right. Here. This is what I want to share. Okay. Put them in order. Okay, so here is a sort of simplified image of a spinal cord over here on the left of the screen. And each of our vertebrae, you can kind of see the vertebrae are like the kind of whitish bone things on each side of the spinal column. You can see some ribs there, and then down a little bit above the waist, you can see where the ribs stop. And then down at the very bottom, you can see the outline of the upper hip bones on the top of the buttocks there. So the vertebrae, the bones themselves actually are there to protect the spinal column. And at each vertebrae, there's a nerve that comes out. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing that one. And I'm going to go to my next photograph, which is, there are 7 steps to get from sharing to not sharing. So the next photograph I'm going to share is about the muscles. So these are the muscles that keep us upright. As a whole, they are called the erector spinae, which is Latin for the muscles that keep the spine upright. And you can see that these muscles run along each side of the spine. And what's important about this is that each of these muscles attaches vertebrae or ribs, which connect two vertebrae, to one another. So that means that at the first thoracic vertebrae, for example, connects to the vertebrae that's 2 down from there. And it also connects via these muscles to the rib that is 5 down from there. So these muscles actually attach vertebrae to each other, and they attach vertebrae to ribs. And so it's a kind of a complex system of like almost pulleys and levers. Okay, so what happens when the vertebrae gets herniated, or when you have a herniated disc? So in between each vertebrae, there's a little cushiony pad, and the cushiony pad is the disc, and it allows the vertebrae to move a little bit in lots of different directions. And it's just kind of like a little cartilage pad. So when there is uneven stress on the vertebrae, I'm going to show another nice picture here. You can see from this picture, you can see all the vertebrae lined up there. And you can see that kind of at the bottom of the orange part, there's a vertebrae that's like way tipped off to the side. And it's really easy when you think about how the nerves come out, that the nerve on the side of the right side there is going to be pinched, and maybe like some of the other ones on the right side will too, because of the angle of his head. So if you think about like all those muscles attaching vertebrae to vertebrae, that kind of thing where you've got an extreme bending at one part of the spine is actually going to filter down through the whole spine. Okay. And so, how does the neck get like crinked over like that? It can happen through an injury or an accident. You can think of like a blow to the head, and then you can see how it would be really easy for the ones on this side to get compressed and the ones on this side to be like way stretched out. Here, I'm right left dyslexic, so I'm looking at myself in the camera. My body wants to do the opposite. But so when you get the pinch here, that can actually come, it doesn't have to be from an accident. It could be from sitting slouched over on a recliner. Can you see how my neck gets? You can see I've got a kind of a crick over here. Maybe if I slouch this way, it'll be easier to see. Got my crick over here. So spending long periods of time, or if you sleep in a funny position, like with your head, I'm so dyslexic, this is hard. So if you have your head tilted this way with your pillow like this, you can see what it does to my neck. It puts it in that really kind of same squished position that we just saw. And so I have one more picture that I wanted to show you. So what happens then is all those nerves get pinched where they're coming out of the spine. And I'm going to show you a picture here of when that happens in the lower back. So you get pinching all along that right side. If the muscles are unevenly pulling on the vertebrae from being in a weird position, or from overuse, or from doing some kind of physical activity. Vacuuming can do this because of the imbalance. Most people tend to vacuum with one hand. So then you get those nerves getting compressed, and you get the whole leg with pain in it. If the compression was in the neck, you would get the whole arm with pain in it, pain and numbness. So these pictures really make it easy to understand. I'm going to just demonstrate about the vacuuming. Like vacuuming, you're doing a motion like this, and it actually is working the erector spinae muscles of the spine unevenly. Right? We've got twisting happening. We've got leaning forward happening, and that all makes these. But this is really this side that's doing most of the work, because I'm doing it right-handed, right? So those are the kinds of things that lead. And we don't even think about them. Like, yes, our back is supposed to be able to do all these things. Our spine is supposed to be able to do all these things. We can sit kind of leaning over or slouching for long periods of time. But over time, as the muscles kind of stay in those positions, and you have one side of the spine that has a lot of stretch in those erector spinae muscles, and then on the other side, if it's not equal, if these are really compressed, then you start getting pressure on the discs actually pooch out and press on those nerves. So this is about herniated spines and herniated discs. A lot of people think, gee, I have a herniated disc. I'm going to have an operation. It's not true. There's lots of ways um, to cope with a herniated disc that do not involve surgery at all. Physical therapy is a really great thing, and acupuncture and massage are both also good things to do if you have a herniated disc. And what it does is the acupuncture or the massage, it actually takes the tension, the uneven tension out of both sides of the spine so that the tension on the vertebrae is equal on both sides. And that allows the disc to go back into place and stop pressing on that nerve. It can take a while because a lot of this is either generated by force of habit or it could be an actual injury. In which case the area has to heal a little bit. But just because you have a herniated disc does not mean you're going to have to go under the knife. There's lots of ways to deal with it. So if you or someone that you know has a herniated disc that is causing pain or numbness in the arms or legs, or they can cause other problems too, but do call us and see. We'd be happy to talk to you about your situation, and acupuncture might be a really great option for you. It's a non-surgical option, and it's also a non-medication option, which is just fabulous. We can get you out of pain and hopefully keep you out from under the surgeon's knife too. You can find us online at briggshealth.com. That's BRIGGSHEALTH.com. And we look forward to hearing from you and answering any questions that you might have. All right, have a great week, and I will talk with you next week.